Hi, Shelley from Spin Cushions here. Today I'm going to show you how to make this pattern from my Siren's Atlas collection called Weddell. It's quite cool with these shell-like things that increase as you go up. It's quite an easy pattern too, so nothing too hard. Alright, let's get started. I'm going to make mine in a single colour, but I'll let you know if you need to do anything different if you are changing colours at the end of rounds. Alright, start off with a magic circle or chain 3 starting chain, or chain 3 and join that chain 3 or 4 into a loop. Then we're going to start with chain 3 starting chain or a false stitch like I like to do. I do have a YouTube video showing you how to do that. And then we're going to do 11 trebles UK or doubles US in that magic circle. So we'll have 12 stitches in total. That's 2, 3. I will continue on doing those and show you how to finish off this round. Alright, I have my 12 stitches, so now I need to pull my magic circle tight and join with a slip stitch to our first stitch, whether that's your false stitch or your chain 3 starting chain, it doesn't matter. Alright, done. So round 2 we're going to be doing V stitches, and the V stitches in this case is going to be UK terms, treble, chain 3, treble, all in the same place. If US terms, double, chain 3, double, all in the same space. So we're going to start off, we're going to do like part of a V. We're just going to do the second stitch. So chain 3 starting chain or a false treble or false double. Then we are going to skip one stitch and do a V stitch in the next stitch. So stitch, chain 3, 2, 3, and stitch, all in the same stitch. Okay, so that's our V stitch. So all we're doing is skipping one, a V stitch all the way around. I'll come back and show you how to finish off our partial V. Okay, so I've done my V stitches. I just need to finish off the first one. So I need to skip one stitch. And that looks like it's another stitch. It's actually the slip stitch we joined with. So we just ignore that and put our stitch right here where we joined our slip stitch to last time. Now, if you're changing colours, chain 3 and join with a slip stitch to your first stitch. I'm not changing colours, so I'm going to chain 1 and I'm going to join with a half treble UK or a half double US to my first stitch. I'll explain why after I do it. So loop to the front. Okay, so that chain 1 and that half stitch takes the place of chain 3, but we're kind of in the middle of the chain 3 space, so we're ready to start our new round. If I joined with a slip stitch, we'd have to slip stitch into there, then slip stitch into there to start our next round. Not necessary, just need to join with a stitch and you're already in the right place to start the next round. Okay, so round 3, we're going to do a double crochet UK, single crochet US over the joining stitch, so that's just in that big hole, just directly underneath. And then we are going to chain 1, and we're going to do, in this hole between the next stitches, 5 trebles UK or 5 doubles US. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we are going to do, we are going to chain 1 and then do a double crochet UK, single crochet US in the 3 chain space. So that's our repeat. 5 stitches between the stitches and 1 stitch in the 3 chain space. I'll work my way all the way around and show you how to finish off this round. Alright, I've almost finished my repeats. I just need to do 5 stitches between these 2 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we just need to join with a slip stitch to that first stitch, and there we have it. It's quite a little pretty flower shape really. It's not going to stay that way for long though. Alright, so that is round 3. Round 4, we're going to do a double crochet UK, single crochet US in the same place as our slip stitch. Then we're going to do a double crochet UK, single crochet US in the 1 chain space. Then we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Oops. Skip the 5 stitches, a double crochet UK, single crochet US in the 1 chain space, and a double crochet UK, single crochet US in the next stitch. So we're only doing double crochets UK, single crochets US and chain stitches, 1 either side of the 5 stitches, sorry, with 3 chain behind. And I think I might have forgotten to do my 1 chain spaces at the end, but then I forgot to do here, but it doesn't matter. If you just do a stitch in between, it'll all work out the same. As long as you've got 3 stitches in between your 5 and 3 chain behind your 5. I'll work my way around and show you how to finish off. Okay, I've done most of my repeats. I've chained 3. I've just got to do a stitch in the 1 chain space on the other side of the 5, and then join with a slip stitch to our first stitch. And there we have it. That is round 4 done. Okay, now we're going to do a double crochet UK, single crochet US in the same place as our slip stitch. And then the same stitch in the next stitch. We're going to chain 1, and we're going to do 7 trebles UK, doubles US in the 3 chain space. Now that seems like a lot more than what will fit, but it will be fine. So that's 1, 2, 3. Oops. 4, 5. Oops. 5, 6, 7. Chain 1 and a double crochet UK, single crochet US in the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3. Chain 1. So a stitch in every stitch, chain 1 either side, and 7 stitches in each 3 chain space. I will work my way around and show you what's next. Alright, so I've just finished my last 7 stitches. I need to chain 1 and do a stitch in the next stitch, then join with a slip stitch to the first stitch. Alright, round 6, we are going to do a stitch, double crochet UK, single crochet US in the same stitch as our slip stitch, then 1 in the next stitch, then 1 in the 1 chain space, then we're going to chain 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, stitch in the 1 chain space, then a stitch in the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3. Oh goodness me, where's that third one? Stitch in the 1 chain space, chain 5, and all the way around. I will stop my fumbling and show you what it looks like at the end. Okay, my repeats are nearly finished. I've done my chain 5 and a stitch in the 1 chain space. Now I just need to do a stitch in the next 2 stitches. And then join with a slip stitch. Actually, no, that is not correct. Sorry. Oops. A stitch in the next 1 stitch, I beg your pardon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we should have 5 stitches in between each of our chain spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Join with a slip stitch to our first one. Sorry about that. Confused myself. I still don't think it. No. Okay, I see what I did. I joined to the slip stitch. Stitch in the next stitch is here. Then join with a slip stitch to our first stitch. Right, that's better. Okay. Starting the next round with a double crochet UK single crochet in the same space as our first stitch, slip stitch, then a stitch in the next 2 stitches, chain 1, and this time we're going to be doing 9 trebles UK doubles US in the 5 chain space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, chain 1, and a stitch in the next 5 stitches. So very similar to what we did before, it's just more stitches in between each one. So I will do that all the way around and show you how to finish off, hopefully this time without mucking it up. So there you go, won't be long. Okay, repeats are done. I've chained 1 and now I just need to do a stitch in the next 2 stitches. 1, 2, then join with a slip stitch to our first one. Okay, so now we're going to do much the same again. Double crochet UK, single crochet US in the same place as our slip stitch. Stitch in the next 2, stitch in the 1 chain space, chain 7 this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Skip the 9 stitches, stitch in the 1 chain space, stitch in the next 5 stitches. And we do that all the way around. 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 in the 1 chain space, chain 7. So we'll do that, and then the next round will be slightly different. Alright, I've done my stitch in the 1 chain space. Now I just need to do a stitch in the next 2. 1, 2, then join with a slip stitch to the first stitch. Okay, so now we're going to start, well, it looks like a bit like a circle, but then we're going to square off. So first I'm going to chain 3 starting chain or a false stitch like I like to do. We're going to do a treble UK or a double US in the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3. Then we are going to do 5 half trebles UK, half doubles US in the 7 chain space. I know that sounds backwards, but it's necessary. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's what makes it so it kind of stand up, only doing 5 stitches in there. Then we're going to do a treble UK, WS in the next 7 stitches. And that's what we do all the way around. So trebles UK, doubles US in stitches, and half trebles UK, half doubles US in the chain spaces. I will work my repeats and show you what it looks like at the end of this round. Okay, I've done most of my repeats. I just need to do, well, I've done all my repeats, just need to do a treble UK WS in the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3. and I'm going to join with a slip stitch to the top of my false stitch or the top of your third chain of your starting chain if that's what you did instead. Okay, so we've kind of got a bit of a round shape now, so you need to check that you've got 72 stitches, because if you don't, the squaring off in the next round won't work. Alright, so now we are going to chain 3 starting chain or false stitch, I've picked up something extra then. Sorry, I'm just going to undo that because that is too loose. Some things I can let slide, other things I have to fix. And that was one of the ones I had to fix. Alright, so chain 3 starting chain or false stitch. Then we're going to do a treble UK, a WS in the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, sorry, I beg your pardon. I'm looking at the wrong round on my pattern. I was doing the same one again. Alright, we're actually going to do 2 trebles UK, doubles US in the same place that we joined with a slip stitch. So it's going to be 3 stitches in that same stitch. Then we're going to skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, and we're going to do a double crochet UK, single crochet US in the next 13 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whoops, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Then we're going to skip 2 stitches, and in the next stitch we're going to do 3 stitches, chain 2, 3 stitches, trebles UK, doubles US. So that's 3, chain 2, and 3 more stitches, all in the same stitch. Now you'll know you're keeping on track is if you're in the middle of either a 5 stitch group or a 7 stitch group, because there's 6 of these bumps. It's going to alternate between chain space and solid for the corners. So that's what we do. We skip 2 and then double crochet 13 again and do our corner again all the way around, and I'll show you how to finish off. Okay, I've done all of my repeats. I just need to skip 2 stitches and do 3 stitches in the same place as our first stitch. 1, 2, 3. Now if you're changing colours, chain 2, join with a slip stitch to the first stitch. If you're not changing colours, chain 1, grab a little scrap of yarn, pop it in that gap, and we're going to join with a double crochet UK, single crochet US to our first stitch instead of a slip stitch. Just like before, when we joined with a half stitch, that puts us as if we're in the middle of the 2 chain corner space, and that scrap of yarn just makes it easier to find, because sometimes it can be tricky when you're just joining with a small stitch. Alright, our last round, we're going to start with a stitch over the joining stitch, which is where that stitch marker is. So just a double crochet UK, single crochet US, right there. We're going to do the same stitch in the next 2. Then we are going to do a half stitch in the next 2 stitches, half treble UK, half double US. And then we're going to do a double crochet UK, single crochet US in the next 11 stitches. Oh my goodness gracious me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Then we're going to do a half stitch in the next 2. 1, 2, then a double UK, single US in the last 2. along the side. And in our 2 chain corner space, we're going to do a double crochet UK, single crochet US, chain 2, and the same stitch. So stitch, chain 2, stitch in the corner. I'll show you what it looks like at the very end. Okay, repeats are done. All I need to do now is a stitch in the same place as our first stitch, which is where this stitch marker comes in handy again. It's in that hole there. Then we're going to chain 2 and join with a slip stitch to our first stitch. I'll get rid of that now. Oops. Come on. Try not to do that. Ah dear. Usually doesn't happen, only because I'm on camera. Snip off your yarn, and I will fix that up in a minute before I finish it off. Alright, so there you have it. That is Weddell from my Siren's Atlas collection. As you can see, it's pretty much, it does need a little bit of a block just to straighten it out completely. But I love these little bits that stick up. I can imagine poking my fingers in them if it was a blanket on me. So much the same size in the Bendigo Wool & Mills cotton as the Cascade Ultra Pima cotton. If you need to change the size of this one, probably make it bigger, add a round of double crochet UK, single crochet US, or block it to size. You can see it's quite a stretchy one. If you need to make it smaller, it's probably best to go down a hook size in this case, because every part of the pattern is required to make it as it is. So there you have it, Weddell from Siren's Atlas. I hope you enjoy making it. Don't forget to check out spincushions.com for more crochet fun. Thanks, bye.